Most realtors are losing out on a lot of money by not implementing this habit. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis, your real estate bestie, and today I am going to share with you a strategy that you must implement in your real estate business, because if you're not doing it, I guarantee that you are missing out on a lot of money. But before we get into it, I need you to do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And you know what? Give your girl a thumbs up. And as we're going through the video and I share with you this very important habit and strategy that you must be doing, I want you to be honest and tell me some of your roadblocks with this so that I can meet you in comments later and we can go all the way through it so that I can support you along the way. Now, what habit am I talking about? Y'all, it is not going to be rocket science. I bet you have heard this term before, that the fortune is in the follow-up. Now, I don't know, you may be different from me, but if I am going to be completely transparent with you, and you know that I am, there have been a time or two in my business where somehow, some way, someone got mixed up in my database. And by the time I followed up with them, I found out that they have already bought or sold a house without me. Y'all, this literally happened to me last week. I was in my calling every single day. I know I'm a real estate broker. I've been at this for a long time, but I still pick up the phone and I dial and I call my database. I call my sphere of influence. Well, I reached out to this lovely lady, Michelle, and literally when I looked at her number in my phone, she actually was a contact in my phone before I had my CRM. Now, if you don't know what a CRM is, that is your client relationship manager, and that is whatever platform you're using to stay in touch and stay on top of the people that you need to be reaching out to. So anywho, Michelle was not in my CRM. She actually was somebody that I met before I actually had the CRM. I was in my phone looking for another number and I decided to call her. I remember her situation like it was yesterday, because it kind of sort of was. She was a longtime renter, and I literally nurtured her for a good amount of time, just trying to get her over that threshold, overcoming all of the challenges that may come up when you are considering home ownership. And there was a time that I was following up with Michelle very, very regularly, but somehow, some way, I kind of fell off, right? A lot of times it happens because you are busy with someone else, or I thought that, the possibility of home ownership was not happening quick enough, or whatever it is. I fell off and I did not follow up. Well, I looked in the phone, and when I saw her number, I decided to give her a call. And number one, she was so happy to hear from me, although it literally had been a couple of years since we talked. And you know how I know it had been a couple of years since we talked? Because she bought a house 2 years ago. Listen, I will tell you that when she told me that she purchased a home, I was not mad at her. I was not annoyed. I was like, see, this is a great example on why we have to be diligent with our following up. And I know that in that instance, she told me all about her house. She told me how much she paid for it. I literally calculated not only how much money I lost by not following up, but all of the other opportunities that I lost, opportunities for referrals and opportunities to serve her family. And it was all because my follow-up game was not as tight as it is now. So I know that I am not the only one where you are diligent. You're calling, you're following up, you're checking in on people, and whether or not you're getting busy in business or you're getting overwhelmed or life just starts lifing, you look up and your follow-up strategy has gone out of the window. So this is what I want you to do. First of all, don't beat up on yourself, but now we need to plan for how we are going to follow up more strategically in the future. So the very first thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is on your weekly time block. And if you don't know, like when I say time block, if that is so foreign to you, you definitely need to get connected to me. But you should be having a time block where you are blocking out time for sustained activity. Now, if you want to see what an example of that might look like, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/week and you can get a sample of my time block. Now, on your time block though, y'all, it's going to be important that you designate time for when you are calling and when you are following up. Now, you can call that whatever you want, however you want to block that time. A lot of times when I'm following up or making calls, I write it in green on my time block, and I make sure that I have time every single day or every single week where I am reaching out. It really fluctuates based on what I need for my business. But here is a good rule of thumb. Why don't you create follow-up Fridays, okay? I know in real estate, we often are lead generating, right? We're generating new leads. We're looking to get in front of brand new people, which is great because we have to keep filling our pipeline. But we can't be so focused on filling our pipeline that we forget to nurture and touch the people that we have already met and come in contact with. So Follow-up Friday is a great time to literally block some time where you are following up on people who may not be ready to buy or sell just yet, but you want to stay in front of them. So that's definitely a good thing. Now, with Follow-up Friday, I encourage you to actually pick up the phone and talk to the people. One of the reasons that I'm going to encourage you to pick up the phone is because we live in such a digital world that everyone is inundated with media on their phones. They are consistently getting emails, consistently getting text messages, whereas your phone call will actually stand out. When you get on the phone with them, you can actually have a conversation. And in that conversation, you can learn not only where they are in the real estate process, but honestly, where are they at in life? Even though Michelle was already had already purchased a home, I learned that she had 2 brand new grandbabies, right? I learned where her home was. We even talked about some of our favorite food in the area so that when I follow up with her again, I have talking points based on what our conversation is, as opposed to it being just a bland text message saying, hey, I'm following up to see if you're still looking for homes in this area. So Follow-up Friday is a great time to really look at your schedule and dedicate some time to getting on the phone and talking to the leads that you've already been in contact with initially, but you haven't been able to quite convert. Another thing that I'm going to encourage you to do when following up, and I've shared this before, is make sure that you are also utilizing some automatizations for following up with people. Now that may look like sending out automatic e-alerts or automatic searches based on what they might be interested in. But also I encourage you to have some sort of newsletter or blog that goes out so that the people on the other end know that you're not just a salesperson, but you're an actual living, breathing person that has interests that may match their own. So make sure that you're doing that. Here is the last thing that I want to say as it pertains to following up, okay? Is that we have to have some patience. And even if you have lost contact with someone, don't let that be your excuse not to follow up again. It was literally, y'all, 2 years since I'd spoken with Michelle. And you know what she said when we hung up? Girl, I want to make sure that we stay in contact because it was so good to hear from you. It was so good to talk to you. Now, I would have gotten all in my head and decided that she wasn't going to buy her. She's never going to buy her. I wouldn't have gotten updated on her situation or think that I'd waited too long to call her. Then I could have missed out still on an opportunity to connect. Now, Michelle has already purchased what she believes is for her forever home. And I'm so happy for her, right? But now I get to continue to follow up with her to see if I can be a resource in any other area. Plus, Michelle knows people that I may be able to help. And literally, that is the way we ended the conversation. She actually purchased in an area that is a little bit outside of my service area. So I just reminded her like, hey, Michelle, this is where I serve. This is who I help. And if you know anybody who is looking to buy or sell up where I am, I would be so grateful if you would just pass my name along. So that follow-up conversation, while it reminded me of the money that I missed out on, it also gave me an opportunity to extend that relationship and to continue to develop rapport and open that door of communication again. Okay, friends, so if you don't take anything else, just remember the fortune is in the follow-up, and we need to make sure that there is time on your schedule to actually have those follow-up conversations. Now, if you made it to the end of this video and you are not subscribed to my channel, I'm not even gonna ask you what you're doing with your life. I'm just gonna forgive you and say, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you need to get an idea of what an ideal week looks like, go to rosemarylewis.com/week to start helping you plan for what your real estate days need to consist of. Talk to you soon.